Ohioans deciding on two major issues tonight, both Issue 1 and Issue 2 projected to pass in the state.
These issues brought in higher than normal turnout across the state as Ohioans cast their ballots and made their voices heard. We have results continuing to pour into our newsroom at this hour. In fact, those numbers are scrolling right now at the bottom of your screen.
And Dayton 24/7 now, your election headquarters tonight. We got all angles of today's polling. We got team coverage now from across the Miami Valley and the state to follow all your local and state issues. First, though, we want to dive into those big issues on the ballot statewide, Issues 1 and 2.
So let's begin with Issue 1. Here's a current look at the results that are in. We've got about 87% of the precincts reporting at this hour. Now, we've got 56% for, 44% against. Again, Issue 1 is an amendment issue in relation to abortion and reproductive rights. Again, the Associated Press has projected this issue has passed. Again, this is the unofficial results at this hour with just about 87% of the precincts reporting in the state. Again, Issue 1 is that amendment relating to abortion and other reproductive rights within the state of Ohio. The measure establishes in the state's constitution a person's right to reproductive medical treatment, which includes abortion, fertility treatment, contraception, and miscarriage care. It also prohibits the state of Ohio from interfering with this right unless after viability. Now, if it had failed, the state of Ohio would then remain what's called a heartbeat bill state, where abortion is illegal once a heartbeat is detected, which is usually around 6 weeks.
The Associated Press projecting Issue 1 passing in the state of Ohio, as we mentioned, puts the amendment in the state's constitution protecting the right to abortion and reproductive health care. Tom Bosco at a watch party as the results came down.
You can hear it behind me, celebration. The Associated Press just calling this state Issue 1 has passed, thereby enshrining the right to abortion in the Ohio Constitution. Folks packed in here, about 200 or so folks on hand celebrating tonight the passage here. The vote totals are not in, but it appears the yes vote will be somewhere around 55%, under the 60% margin that lawmakers tried to get changed in August in advance of this vote. I talked to a doctor who practices in Columbus, who also provides abortions for her clients. She says tomorrow is going to be a different kind of day.
We live wondering every day if our rights are going to be taken away. And so it's a little hard to imagine that tomorrow I might be able to look my patients in the eye and tell them that it's okay. We're going to be able to keep taking care of them.
So now Ohio, alongside 6 other states, have put the abortion measure on the ballot. All 7 now, with Ohio's approval tonight, have passed and confirmed the right to have an abortion. Guys, back to you.
Local organizations are now sharing their thoughts on the results tonight. So let's send it right over to Abby Forbes, who is joining us live in the studio after speaking with organizations on both sides about the issue. So Abby, what did they have to tell you?
Yeah, as results have come in, I've spoken with both Planned Parenthood Advocates of Ohio and Dayton Right to Life, both sharing their opinions on Issue 1 passing. Planned Parenthood Advocates of Ohio tell me they are celebrating and looking toward how they can expand their care.
This is exactly what Ohioans knew that they wanted and what they needed to ensure that our reproductive rights are enshrined outside of not just abortion, but IVF, but birth control, but the right to ensure that continuing pregnancy as well.
And on the other side of things, Dayton Right to Life is disappointed, but tell me this issue passing will not stop them from continuing their mission of protecting women and children.
Of course, disappointed. We think that's going to be a tragic mistake for our state, and definitely a tragic mistake for women and children.
And as we receive more reactions, we will make sure to keep you updated on air and online. Back to you.
Abby, thanks. So let's break down the projected passage of these issues. We're joined now by Dr. Lee Hanna, a political science professor at Wright State University. So as this played out tonight, Dr. Hanna, you saw the results come in. It was a larger margin than maybe perhaps we expected. I think we might have Dr. Hanna muted here, if we can get him unmuted there. There we go. Dr. Hanna, can you hear me? Perfect. We'll get that microphone back on for you there. Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. You got
Okay,
me.
there we go. Hey, technology is great. So we're just talking about the passages of issues 1 and 2. The margin of defeat for those that were against these issues were larger than maybe some anticipated.
Yes, absolutely. And I was just looking at the exit polls for issue 1, at least. And what you saw there is that 90% of Democrats voted for this, which is not too surprising. But 18% of Republicans voted for it and 65% of independents. And so we see that, again, if you look at the partisan breakdown and the candidates that win in this state and the positions they take, they're not always consistent with voters, at least when it comes to abortion rights and marijuana policy.
Now, when we're talking about these issues, they are, of course, 2 separate issues. They're also separate in the sense that one cannot really be touched by the state legislature, the other one can, correct?
Correct. Yes. So by enshrining abortion rights in the Constitution, that means that any efforts by the legislature to trim away at this law will go through judicial review. And so there are some elements of this law, this amendment, that are ambiguous and will go through judicial review. And we have a pretty conservative Ohio Supreme Court. So more than likely, some of the larger fears about this amendment aren't going to come to fruition, at least in the short term, unless there's major changes in the courts or in elected leaders. But when it comes to marijuana policy, the legislature really has full discretion in terms of what they do. I think they'll work closely with our already established medical marijuana program to use that as kind of the infrastructure to build off of. But really, all bets are off in terms of what is actually in issue 2 and what actually becomes part of the Ohio statutory code after the legislature deals with it.
Wow, so there's still a lot more to come, at least on that issue, as we move into the 2024 election year, another election year, believe it or not, on its way. Dr. Lee Hanna from Wright State University, thank you for being with us tonight. We appreciate your patience, too, with the technological issues. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. That last one was on me. Very sorry.
You're okay. No problem. Take care. All right, so let's take another look at those hot button issues tonight. Issue 2, the issue for the legalization of recreational marijuana. Now, as we mentioned, it is projected to pass, 90% reporting, 56% voting in favor of it tonight. Now, this would commercialize, regulate, legalize, and tax the adult use of cannabis. Adults 21 and up would be allowed to purchase and use marijuana recreationally. The marijuana would be regulated by a new Division of Cannabis Control. Issue 2 would be a state law, not a constitutional amendment. Because of that, the legislature has the ability to tweak or change it later on.
And we're also following results from issue 2, which would legalize recreational marijuana, again, allowing Ohioans to use, buy, sell, and grow it. Again, as Adam mentioned, the Associated Press projecting issue 2 will pass. Kate Seifert is following this for us tonight.
As it stands right now, Ohio voters chose yes for issue 2. Let's go over what issue 2 means here for the state of Ohio. It makes it legal to buy, possess, and grow marijuana here in our state. We're at the Athletic Club in Columbus. This is actually the location of where some pro-issue 2 folks are gathering. It's not really a watch party, but just a time to get together and wait for those results to come in. We have not been able to speak with any of those proponents quite yet, as they are still in a closed-door meeting right now, waiting for those official results to trickle in. But we were able to speak with some opponents of issue 2 today. They tell us that their biggest fear is the impact marijuana could have on our community, especially the health of our kids. Take a listen.
In the Black community, specifically, people are in crisis in various subcategories of their lives, including, and they self-medicate with drug use. And marijuana is more available than any other drug. But unfortunately, it is a gateway drug, and it leads to further abuse of other drugs.
This is money, again, that we're taking out of the illicit market, that we're taking back from the state of Michigan, and we're going to invest it right back into Ohio communities.
And remember, issue 2 is a state law, not a constitutional amendment, which would mean the legislature down at the State House would have the ability to tweak it or kill it altogether. We're going to, of course, keep our eye on that. Any proposal changes that might come along the way over the next several days for you. We'll, of course, keep you updated. Reporting in Columbus, I'm Kate Seifert.
Kate, thank you. And if you were in Montgomery County, you may have noticed the results were coming in a little slow tonight. Officials telling us there's been a delay in getting the results out. And Gwyneth Falloon joins us now live from outside the Board of Elections tonight. So Gwen, what happened that slowed things down, and were there any other incidents?
Elise, there was an incident at the Miamisburg Christian Church. Someone was struggling with their mental health and law enforcement had to be called to step in. This was around 7:30 tonight, right when those polls were closing. Now, the Montgomery County Board of Elections Director Jeff Rezebeck tells me he made the executive decision to pause the process. That was to make sure everyone, both the individual and his poll workers, were safe.
It's been handled. Everyone's safe. The election data is safe. There's no concerns there. So we did have a little bit of a delay because of that, just making sure that we handled that situation first.
Now, this issue, it did cause the BOE to fall a little behind, but they are working quickly to process those ballots, and get the most up-to-date results online as soon as possible. This is the only incident. They tell us that everything else went pretty smoothly as of about 9:30. That was about 2 hours ago. 128 of the 144 precincts had already been accounted for, but keep in mind the results that you're seeing online, those are the unofficial results. Back to you.
All right. Well, if you want to follow along with the election results from tonight, you can get updates sent right to your phone. You can download the Dayton 24/7 Now app. You can scan the QR code there. That'll take you to our app stores or the app stores. You can download it right now for free. And we also have all of our coverage at Dayton247now.com. You can find this page under the election results tab.
Now, we want to give you a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. It was a beautiful day to go out and cast your ballot today, right, Natalie?
It really was, making it into the 60s. We had sunshine, very comfortable weather. It's chilly out there now, though. We're in the 40s. We got 46 in Dayton, 46 in Eaton, 43 in Richmond right now. We have some clouds building in. We're going to stay pretty steady around this number as we head through the overnight hours before we actually start to see things climb during the day tomorrow. But big difference compared to where we were. 19 degrees cooler compared to this time yesterday in Dayton, 20 degrees colder in Middletown, with clouds continuing to make their way through. This is, as of right now, a stream off to the north, but eventually we'll start to see some more clouds increase from the south with that warm front. Very small chance for a shower in the morning tomorrow. We'll start out with cloudier skies, but managing to see lots of sun by the afternoon with highs back in the 70s. It's looking like a really nice day. It's going to be breezy, but a cold front is going to swing right back in, so I'll time it out for you in just a bit.
Two Dayton City Commissioners hoping to keep their seats. The latest results from that race.
Coming up, we have results from 4 of the area's largest school districts, and we break down those levies they had on the ballot today.
Voters also deciding tonight the future of districts across the Miami Valley. Several local school levies on the ballot this evening. Lydia Bice is live in Centerville, where a watch party has just wrapped up a little bit ago. Now, Lydia, what are district leaders telling you tonight?
That's right. So I'm here at the Centerville School District Board of Education, where officials held that watch party that you just referenced tonight as they awaited results on issue 13. Now, obviously, those results were a bit delayed tonight here as well in Centerville, but officials held on and they waited and said that no matter what happens, their top priority remains the children here in this school district. Now, if passed, the combined 5.4 mil operating and 0.5 mil permanent improvement levy would have helped Centerville schools make improvements to their school buildings as well as recruit new teachers. Now, right now, you can see that 57% of residents voted against and 43% voted in favor. 100% of precincts are reporting. Now, we also just received a reaction statement from the district, and we'll have that in this web story on Dayton247now.com. But here's what their superintendent told me tonight.
We'll have to work hard with our Board of Education, looking at what we need to do in the future as to find a way to have enough funds for our programming, for our students, and how we move forward from the loss of a levy like this.
Now, tonight we've also been following the Northmont City School District's 5.5 mil emergency operating levy. The state of Ohio is who labeled it an emergency, and the funding that the district was asking for would have been used to operate the district and would translate to about $16 a month per $100,000 home valuation. Here on your screen, you can see that 54% of residents voted against and 46% voted for. Now, tonight I also spoke with Joan Regano, the Beaver Creek City School District's Board of Education president. She explained to me that the funding that her district was asking for in their levy could have been used on anything with a 5-year lifespan or more.
We could use it for safety upgrades, like cameras in our system or fencing or shatterproof film on the windows. We could use it for playground updating.
Right now, you can see that 51% of Beaver Creek residents voted in favor and 49% voted against. 1% of precincts are reporting. And lastly, in the Oakwood City School District's combined 5.75 mil operating levy and 1.0 permanent improvement levy that was on the ballot there today. An Oakwood superintendent told me that the operating levy will be used for personnel costs, utilities, and instructional supplies, while that permanent improvement levy would be used for things like vehicles, larger repairs, and technology. Here you can see that nearly 60% of Oakwood residents voted in favor and 40% voted against. Now, of course, you can see results from these other districts and other races at the bottom of your screen, as well as on Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Well, 3 seats up for grabs in Tip City for their school board. You may remember former board president Simon Patry resigned in September. This after board member Ann Zakor appeared to give him a Nazi salute. Patry, Zakor, and board member Teresa Dunaway, their seats all up for grabs tonight. You can see the top 3 right now: Angie McMurray, Cindy Wilson-Dillard, and Kyle Thompson. Those are your top 3 at this moment, unofficially the new members of the Tip City School Board.
Well, clouds are going to be increasing as we head through the overnight hours. A very small chance for a shower as a warm front lifts its way through the area. So bigger picture here, we got a warm front situated to our southwest that does start to lift its way through, warming us up significantly for tomorrow. Today was even nice and we were in the 60s. Tomorrow we're going to be even warmer. So heading into the start of the day, slight chance for a shower in the morning with a mostly cloudy sky. Then it just turns breezy and mild for the afternoon. Southerly wind between about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Could see some gusts up to about 30 miles per hour with those highs in the 70s. So really nice. And then shower chances increase. So late tomorrow after sunset into our Wednesday night, scattered showers in the forecast as that front makes its way through. And then we'll start to see a little sun during our day on Thursday, but it does look like we'll see some more clouds build right back in with cooler weather sliding back in too. I'll let you know how cool we'll get coming up.
Two Dayton City Commissioners hoping to hold on to their seats for another 2 years. Matt Joseph and Chris Shaw running for re-election against Marcus Bedinger and Valerie Duncan. Joseph is currently serving his 5th term as commissioner. He was first elected in 2004. Shaw first elected in 2015. So here's a look at those results at this hour with 100% of the precincts reporting. Now 33% are for Matt Joseph, 31% for Chris Shaw. So the two of them have won re-election. And we did speak to the commissioners Shaw and Joseph tonight about their feelings on the results.
It's a great feeling. You know, been through a number of these. It never gets old. It's a great feeling to know that the work that we've done is seen and acknowledged, and that we get a chance to do some more work. It's a great feeling.
Tonight's verdict tells the tale. We are on the right track. So much is in front of us that we have to deal with, but so much good work that's just around the corner, and we're excited to make those connections.
The two say again they are excited to see what the next 2 years hold.
Mayor Mary McDonald of Trotwood up for re-election, running against her Vice Mayor Yvette Page. Now, McDonald won against Page in 2019 after the vote went to a recount. Now, this was after McDonald found herself ahead by just 5 votes, and right now Page is in the lead. This is with all votes in, so unofficially Page has won by 16 votes. Again, this could go to a recount, but we'll see what happens here. Very, very close once again for the City of Trotwood mayoral race. In Englewood, Mayor Tom Franz running for re-election against Councilwoman Kathy McGrail. Now, Franz hoping to get a 2nd term after serving as vice mayor for decades. But at this moment, it appears unofficially that McGrail is the new mayor of Englewood, getting 52% of the vote to Franz's 48%.
And moving on to Miamisburg, the incumbent Michelle Collins up for re-election. She's running against Kelly Webb. In 2019, Collins became the first woman to serve as mayor of Miamisburg after the now late Dick Church stepped down. Now you can see tonight with 100% reporting, Collins is the winner, 65% for Collins and 35% for Webb.
All right, here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam over downtown Dayton tonight. The weather, certainly not a reason, at least in my opinion, to keep you from voting. It was pretty nice out there. Natalie?
Well, it's been a nice one today, but we do have a warm up as we head into the day tomorrow. Temperature is going to be climbing back into the 70s. A little cool out here now, though. You'll need a jacket if you're out this evening or early tomorrow morning, but we warm up quickly tomorrow back into the mid 70s. And then notice it does turn cooler with our highs back into the lower 50s through the end of this week and this weekend. So that'll be slightly below our normal for this time of the year. Not terribly cold by any means, but it really doesn't stick around for too long. This is the temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. An above normal temperature trend looking pretty likely for us. We'll start to notice a warming pattern by the middle of next week, allowing temperatures to climb likely back above normal by late next week.
Well, election results still coming in tonight across the state. The latest from those polls is next.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now. And we have even more of your election coverage tonight. The city of Beaver Creek had a 1.93 Mills Park and Rec levy on the ballot. 1% reporting of the precincts against. We have 61% and 4 at 39%.
Greene County voting on a 3.5 Mills road levy for Xenia. You can see right now unofficially 62% voting against it tonight.
Huber Heights voters deciding on a 0.25% income tax levy. You can see 100% of the precincts reporting 69% for and 31% against.
And Springfield Township, they are voting on a police levy tonight. Unofficially, it did not pass. 59% voting against it.
Then in Jamestown, there's a 4.3 Mills levy, or Mills bond issue, and tax levy for Greenview Local School District. Again, this is in Greene County, and it seems that only 1% of the precincts out there are reporting at this hour. We're going to continue to follow this, but right now it's got 63% against and 37% for.
Also, a bond and levy issue on the ballot that'll impact Yellow Springs exempted